Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good day. My name is Karthik Hora, and I'm a lead consultant at JK Technosoft for SAP S4HANA. I have with me Mr. Govardhan Reddy and Mr. Lohit Mikileni, who are functional SMEs from JK Technosoft and have been involved in multiple projects on S4HANA. We are here to demystify SAP S4HANA. But before we start, a couple of points for all the attendees. I would request you all to kindly be on mute to avoid any disruption in the webinar. There shall be a Q&A session at the end of the discussion, wherein we would be happy to answer any queries you may have. You all can type in your queries to the panelists in the chat window. Should we run short of time to answer them, we'll definitely get back to you. You can share your query with the marketing team and we shall revert. Having said that, a very important point to note, this webinar is going to be recorded. So without any further delay, let's get started. I'll quickly brief you all about our company. JK Technosoft is a global software solutions company, helping clients to create the future with presence in 6 countries and with over 1,600 global workforce. We offer advisory services, enterprise, platform and digital solutions across centers of excellence such as SAP, Salesforce, Pega, Progress, CAD, Microsoft Dynamics, RDA, Analytics, DevOps, Java, Agile Scrum, open source, testing, etc. JKT have demonstrated capabilities and expertise across logistics, dairy, insurance, transport, healthcare, retail, manufacturing verticals, and software product or solution companies through nearshore, on-site, and off-site model. The agenda for today's call is why S4HANA, transitioning to S4HANA, system conversion approach, and the tools required for migration to SAP S4HANA. In this slide, we can see how SAP has evolved over the years to rebuild the business suite for the digital world. In 1979, as we can see, SAP invented ERP and came up with SAP R2. Here R stands for real time. So SAP had built this standard business software, which was based on mainframe technology. R2 could support and integrate major business functions in real time and had the capability to handle multi-country and multi-currency implementations. In 1992, SAP had introduced a 3-layer architecture in which processing was split across 3 layers: client, application, and database. In 2004, when the web was firmly established, SAP had developed a new integration application platform called the SAP NetWeaver. Now all SAP applications could run on a common platform, and customers and partners were able to integrate their existing applications using the widely adopted web standards. SAP R3 name was now replaced by SAP ERP. ERP is part of a larger family known as the SAP Business Suite, which also contains many other line of business solutions, such as SAP CRM, SAP SRM, and so on. In 2015, a wave of advancement in hardware architecture brought massive computing power at decreased costs. Huge memory and multi-core processors arrived to offer massive computing power, and now a rewrite of the complete business suite was required, and hence came the SAP S4HANA. Let's talk about the key aspects of SAP S4HANA. S4HANA is built on HANA database, so it inherits all the capabilities of this powerful in-memory platform database, which includes the advanced text mining, predictive analysis, simulations, and powerful real-time decision support, which can access any type of data in real time. Next is SAP Fiori, which is a role-based user experience, which is delivered to improve the productivity and satisfaction of business users. And it brings the interface up to a customer-grade experience. And of course, it can be optimized for any device. S4HANA Enterprise Management, or the Simplified Management, is also called as the Simplified Core, can see that multiple line of business solutions are integrated with this core. So basically, this core offers support for all the core business processes, such as quotation to cash, procure to pay, and so on. Line of business solutions integrates with this core, and there are options that can be added at any point of time and provides best-in-class line of business solutions and connections to SAP business networks. We can see a few of the line of business solutions listed here, such as finance, human resources, sourcing and procurement, supply chain, manufacturing, research and development, asset management, sales, marketing, and service. Here we have described some of the key capabilities of S/4HANA. S/4HANA helps you to reimagine business models. We can see Internet of Things, which innovative business models, big data, which quickly uncover hidden business opportunities. So basically, it allows you to analyze the continual streaming data, read big data stores such as Hadoop, and synchronize in both directions with remote databases and devices that collect data from the IoT. SAP HANA has built-in extraction, transformation, and loading capabilities, which is called the ETL. So now a separate software is no longer needed to clean, enrich, and profile the data. And that's how SAP helps you reimagine business decisions and processes. Moving on, we have summarized the S/4HANA migration stats as an answer to the big question, why S/4HANA? As we see, as per the migration stats provided by SAP, 20% of SAP customers have already migrated to S4. And by end of this year, another 17% are expected to be in S/4HANA. And by end of 2025, more than 80% of the global SAP customers would be on SAP S/4HANA. SAP has mandated the use of S/4HANA as the maintenance certificate of current business suite will no longer be valid after 2025. The key drivers of this transformation are the improved business processes and modernization of ERP landscape. And primary challenges being the complex legacy systems or landscapes and high customizations. For value additions in different industries, we have listed other different industries like real-time inventory management, seamless procurement, house management, finance module, production planning, detailed scheduling, order management, and so on. Let's move on to our next topic on transitioning to S/4HANA. There are three ways in which we can transition to SAP S/4HANA, being new implementation, system conversion, and landscape transformation. In the new implementation approach, new and existing customers can implement the new SAP S/4HANA system. This scenario includes installation of NetWeaver application server, which is based on SAP HANA, installation of the S/4HANA software, installation of the SAP Fiori software, and finally activation of all the required business processes. It can be done on cloud as well as on premise. We can also migrate the data from old legacy systems. Next scenario in terms of popularity is the system conversion approach. The conversion scenario steps are that we first update our system to SAP NetWeaver application server 7.5, which is the minimum requirement. Then we migrate the database to SAP HANA if the existing business suite is not yet on HANA. And finally, we install the SAP S/4HANA and SAP Fiori softwares. After which, the migration of old data structures to a new and simplified data structures is done. Now, a very important question here arises that why this approach is called system conversion. Why conversion and why not upgrade? The answer to that is because here we are moving from one SAP product to another SAP product, which is from ECC, ERP to SAP S/4HANA. Upgrades are when you move from a newer version of the same product. The Third and final approach is the landscape transformation scenario. It supports SAP Business Suite customers who wants to reorganize their current system landscape. For example, where multiple legacy systems are consolidated into one target S/4HANA, or one legacy is split into multiple target S/4HANA systems. So such scenarios are catered with this approach. For transformation to S/4HANA, we can possibly do a new installation, or we can do a conversion from ERP to SAP S/4HANA. And then additional migration steps that are based on SAP Landscape Transformation Server, also commonly known as the SLT server, is done. So basically SLT replication is done in order to move and replicate the data to SAP S/4HANA. We can also set up a central finance system or instance. This approach is used so that the individual legacy source system, be it on SAP or non-SAP, can begin to post their finance data in real time to a central S/4HANA system. The advantages of this being that it allows a customer to get started early with S/4HANA Finance, but keep their legacy applications running on existing systems until they are fully ready to move. There are mainly three transition steps, which are preparation, technical implementation, and semantical adoption. In preparation, we start with analysis of the used business processes. Then we identify the required integration scenarios of target state and run pre-transformation checks on source system. Also, mandatory preparation steps are executed on the source system so that it is ready to be converted to S4. Then we start implementing. So the technical implementation, which includes the installation of SAP S4HANA and the customizing of the adjustment which was done in the previous phases, and adjustment of technical infrastructure. Finally, in semantical adoption, we adapt the custom code to comply with SAP S4HANA and scope it for data value. Also, the readiness assessment is done on SAP ERP system to identify aspects which could have a major impact. The project is further detailed out in the explore phase. Explore phase drives detailed planning of the technical architecture and the conversion of SAP ERP to SAP S4HANA. By the end of explore phase, the technical and functional conversion is fully planned in detail, and I'll now explain in brief how the S4HANA migration is done, which is part of technical implementation. So software update manager actually use the database migration option of the software update manager, which is also called as the SUM tool. So basically this tool follows the switch upgrade technology, where a shadow system is created, and in the pre-processing roadmap step, all the relevant data for migration is imported into this shadow system. During the downtime, the shadow kernel is switched with the original system, and the shadow system becomes the upgraded system. Post which, the post-processing activities and other uptime activities such as power are done. We'll discuss in detail about this in the system conversion approach. SAP S4HANA transition is based on SAP Activate methodology. The key phases of this methodology are prepare, explore, realize, and deploy. In prepare phase, it provides the initial planning and preparation for the project, which includes determination and solution scope and value. Also, the readiness assessment is done on SAP ERP system to identify aspects which could have a major impact. The project is further detailed in the explore phase. Explore phase drives detailed planning of the technical architecture and the conversion of SAP ERP to SAP S4HANA. By the end of explore phase, the technical and functional conversion is fully planned in detail, and it's ready for execution. is ready for execution. Here, assessment on custom coding from the prepare phase is used to develop a plan to adjust the custom coding and identify areas to restore to SAP best practice processes. The purpose of the realize phase is the execution of necessary steps to migrate to SAP S/4HANA. Here, assessment on custom coding from the prepare phase is used to develop a plan to adjust the custom coding and identify areas to restore to SAP best practice processes. The purpose of the realize phase is the execution of necessary steps to migrate to SAP S/4HANA. So based on the detailed planning and strategy, of the earlier phases, all the required steps will be done here to migrate to S/4HANA in a sprint execution approach. Your systems and applications will be configured, tested, and validated. Finally, the purpose of deploy phase is to finalize readiness of SAP S/4HANA and its supporting tools and processes for production go live. This includes final testing of the earlier phases. All the required steps will be done here to migrate to S/4HANA in a sprint execution approach. Your systems and applications will be configured, tested, and validated. Finally, the purpose of deploy phase is to finalize readiness of SAP S/4HANA and its supporting tools and processes for production go live. This includes final testing, end user training, cutover rehearsals, IT infrastructure, and operations finalization. And finally, the conversion of the productive SAP ERP to SAP S/4HANA. Our next topic for the day is system conversion approach. System conversion approach for migrating to SAP's IT infrastructure and operations finalization. And finally, the conversion of the productive SAP ERP to SAP S/4HANA. Our next topic for the day is system conversion approach. System conversion approach for migrating to SAP S/4HANA. Here we see the overview of conversion process. We first start with the prepare phase, as we have seen in the SAP Activate methodology. So in the prepare phase, I'll map it against time. So in T1, we first check for system requirements. For example, one important prerequisite for the conversion is that the system needs to be a Unicode system. We can check whether a system is Unicode and perform necessary steps. Here we see the overview of conversion process. We first start with the prepare phase, as we have seen in the SAP Activate methodology. So in the prepare phase, I'll map it against time. So in T1, we first check for system requirements. For example, one important prerequisite for the conversion is that the system needs to be a Unicode system. We can check whether a system is Unicode and perform necessary steps. Also, dual stack systems are not supported. So we take care of such prerequisites in this roadmap step. Next, in T2, we run the maintenance planner tool. This tool is provided by SAP and it checks the system existing components, add-ons, business functions to ensure compatibility with SAP S/4HANA. And it also creates a stack file, which is used to download all the media and software, which will be used in the actual conversion process, which will be done by some. So we take care of such prerequisites in this roadmap step. Next, in T2, we run the maintenance planner tool. This tool is provided by SAP and it checks the system existing components, add-ons, business functions to ensure compatibility with SAP S/4HANA. And it also creates a stack file, which is used to download all the media and software, which will be used in the actual conversion process, which will be done by some tool. tool. In D3, we do the pre-checks. These checks identify significant steps that we need to take to make sure that the system can technically be converted, that the business processes can start running directly after the conversion process has been completed. Next, we have custom code migration. Since we know with S/4HANA, business processes have been changed and simplified. In D3, we do the pre-checks. These checks identify significant steps that we need to take to make sure that the system can technically be converted, that the business processes can start running directly after the conversion process has been completed. Next, we have custom code migration. Since we know with S/4HANA, business processes have been changed and simplified. This means in some cases, related custom code also needs to be adapted to SAP S/4HANA. Therefore, before conversion, we need to check the custom code in the ABAP test cockpit for compatibility with S/4HANA. So to do all these checks, SAP provides us with simplification list of SAP S/4HANA, which enables us to do an optimal planning for conversion to S/4HANA. Simplification basically also needs to be adapted to SAP S/4HANA. Therefore, before conversion, we need to check the custom code in the ABAP test cockpit for compatibility with S/4HANA. So to do all these checks, SAP provides us with simplification list of SAP S/4HANA, which enables us to do an optimal planning for conversion to S/4HANA. Simplification basically is the complete collection of simplification items. It provides key information by application, functional area about simplifications in S/4HANA. Each simplification item, or SI in short, details the steps that needs to be taken for the conversion from a business and technical point of view. Next, we have activities in realize phase. So in T5, we execute the sum tool, which is the software update manager tool, which is responsible for doing the actual DB migration, the software update, and data conversion. Moving on in T6, we do the cross application and application specific follow-on activities. For example, we do the adaptation of database extensions to S/4HANA here. We also can do the adaptation of the user interface. Next, I've showcased the high-level project planning, which is obviously based on the SAP Activate methodology again. So in total, we have discovery, prepare, explore, realize, deploy, and run phases. We begin with discovery and prepare, which are part of the preparatory steps, where we start running the readiness check. Readiness check are nothing but set of nodes which are provided by SAP, which needs to run in your source system to make sure the system is ready for S/4HANA. And then the detailed workshop according to the readiness check is carried out. Moving on to explore, we run multiple cycles to start migrating from our sandbox system to other non-prod subsequent systems in the landscape. We can also plan multiple mock runs for the production copy systems. In deploy, we do the cutover planning, dry simulation run, and the production cutover. And in run, we provide the post-go live support. We can see the overview of key project phases here. First, we do the scope finalization, where discovery and planning workshop is carried out. Here we do the analysis of scope definition. We check the interoperability of other systems in the landscape. We need to check what all systems are integrated to the current SAP landscape so that we know when we migrate to S/4HANA, how do we have to handle these. The migration strategy is defined as per this. Validation of efforts and timelines, hardware sizing, hardware and licenses. In project preparations, we start onboarding the project teams. We do the project planning. We also plan for upgrade of other systems in the landscape because of the interoperability. I can give an example for this. If suppose a content server is connected to your existing landscape, so we need to plan whether this content server should be upgraded because we are moving to S/4HANA. Likewise, we do the data inconsistency cleanup. SAP recommends to do the cleanup before migrating to S/4HANA, so we can carry out the necessary archiving or data aging activities. Also, system migration of sandbox, which is cycle 1, is done here. In realization, we do the system migration of subsequent non-prod systems in the landscape, which is cycle 2, followed by unit testing, unit acceptance testing, or the integration testing. At the end of realization, we start with the cutover planning. And the final cutover in go live, we do the final cutover planning, we validate the final cutover planning, and the system migration and mock system cutover system. In mock cutover is done here. Another important aspect is the sizing of HANA. It is very significant that we right size the HANA database. So this slide here is obviously based on the standard notes and recommendations. But what I've done here is I've simplified this and formalized it to achieve precision and accuracy in HANA sizing. As we can see, there are different set of formulations for standalone HANA, for BW on HANA, and for Suite on HANA. Suite on HANA can also represent S4 HANA. So we have standard set of nodes, and we also have formulated some formulas, which is very useful for right sizing the HANA database. Let's move on to the final topic, which talks about tools used for system conversion. We'll first discuss the tools which will be used in prepare phase. The key highlights here are the tools which JKT has pioneered through various S/4HANA implementation and conversion projects. So we have come up with an innovative way to track the readiness checklist, which has all the SAP recommended notes along with description, status, and manual activities. We call it JKT System Requirements Readiness Checklist. Also, JKT has come up with a template and impact analysis checklist for cross-application and application-specific preparation activities. Next tool is the standard tool by SAP, which is the maintenance planner. Here we have the welcome screen of the maintenance planner, where we can plan for a new SAP S/4HANA system. We can also plan a conversion here. So this tool will help us in downloading all the media and software S/4HANA. Let's now discuss tools used in realize phase. Here we have the standard software update manager tool, also called as the SAP, which is responsible for DB migration and SAP software upgrade. We also use the execution checklist prepared in the previous phase. Summarize the tools and corresponding activities. So when we do the SAP upgrade, Unicode conversion if required, and database migration, which can be done with the sum tool using the DMO option. Then we do the optimal planning for our path to SAP S/4HANA, which can be done by using the simplification list provided by S/4HANA. And then we do the compliance with scope and data structure of SAP S/4HANA, for which we use the custom code migration work list. And finally, adaptation of database extensions to S/4HANA, for which we can use the UI development toolkit. Now to summarize, why should we move to SAP S/4HANA? Because we have improved business process, as we have seen. We spoke about modernization of ERP landscape. We have seen how SAP has evolved over the years. It supports the innovative business models. It has real-time data enablement capabilities, the end user experience using SAP Fiori, lower cost due to reduced data footprint. And finally, there are no other options due to SAP strategy, as SAP is about to mandate the licenses for ECC product. Talking about lower cost due to reduced data footprint, Let me share a recent experience with one of the production SAP system, which was migrated to S/4HANA in my previous project. So the source traditional database here, which was on SAP ECC, was around 600 GB in size, and it came down to 150 GB in size because of the compression factor of HANA. And further, we bring down the data footprint to only 70 GB. And this was done because of the data volume management in S/4HANA. So we can see the data footprint less by about 90%. Next, we've listed all the S/4HANA conversion challenges and solutions. So this listing is based on our past project experiences, and we have come up with the solutions through accurate assessments and SAP recommendations. Like for dealing with the complexities of landscape, we offer landscape assessment as a solution. We can do the custom code analysis to overcome customization challenges. Similarly, for non-harmonized business processes, we use business process analytics. For lack of landscape awareness, we can run business process and landscape assessments. For project planning and approach, we have roadmap and efforts. We can do the TR analytics for dual development strategy for transports. Similarly, we can do an archiving or sizing for infrastructure design, for designing it in the right manner. We can define and plan the simplification item checks and business functions to overcome change management strategy. Before concluding the presentation on S/4HANA, let me quickly summarize the topics we've covered. We started with finding the key aspects of S/4HANA. How do we transition to SAP S/4HANA? What are the ways in which we can transition? Then we discussed about the system conversion approach. And along with it, we also saw the high-level project planning, which was based on SAP Activate methodology. And finally, we have seen the tools which will be used for migrating to SAP S/4HANA. Thank you all. We are now open to questions. You may write your queries to the panelists in the chat window. I have Govardhan and Lohit joining with me, who are functional SMEs for S/4HANA. They would help me in answering the functional specific questions. You can also mail your query to the marketing team. The email is listed in the slide below.
Hi, myself Govardhan, Finance SME. We have a question from audience. Let me read the first question. What are the major activities in system conversion from the functional perspective? Question to this answer. Generally, when it comes system conversion, the functional activities are performed in a phased manner. Initially, there will be a pre-check phase where the consistency check on the existing configuration is performed and fixed. Secondly, in the conversion phase, all reconciliation and data validation along with function regression testing and integration testing and all business process are performed. I hope clarified to this question.
Thank you, Govardhan. There's a question on logistics. Lohit, would you want to take it up?
So the question says that if we migrate warehouse management, would it still function on S/4HANA? So the answer to this is yes. SAP currently provides a compatibility pack which enables customers to move their current classic WM component to S/4HANA. But the challenge here is the component is currently supported by SAP only till 2025. Post which the customers needs to migrate to a newer version of the component, which is EWM, which currently SAP is focusing on. So that would be the answer for that.
Thank you, Lohit.
We have one more question from the finance. The important question, like what is the universal journal? Before we answer this question, let us get a small introduction. Universal journal entry eliminates the need for separation made previously in the financial accounting and controlling. There is a combined FI and CO document linked with a logical document. All the information is recorded.
Vardhan, can you please come near the mic and talk? Your voice is breaking.
Sorry. Before we answer to this question, let us get a small introduction. The universal general entries eliminates the need for the separation made separately previously between the financial accounting and controlling. There is a combined FI and CO document linked with a logical document. All the information is recorded in one line table. The table is called as a AC doca. We can call as a single source of truth also.
There is one question on downtime optimization. So the question says, how can we optimize the downtime while migrating to SAP S/4HANA? So basically, while migrating to SAP S/4HANA, the sum tool gives us three options to select. There's one standard approach, there is a downtime minimized approach, and third one is customer specific approach, where we can use different options to optimize the downtime, such as SLT replication, wherein for specific set of tables, we already start migrating and mapping the data to HANA database. So some extra bit of configuration is used, has to be done for this kind of optimization. And the downtime optimization, which can be done using the sum tool, is that we select right kind of resources. It will read the system resources and it will optimize accordingly so that the minimum downtime is taken for the migration.
So we have another question which says, what are the key aspects that one needs to consider during the migration process? So from our past experience, we say that there should be a workshops on how HANA supports the growth strategy of the organization. One should have a clear view on what is their growth strategy on adopting HANA and understanding their options and risks in adopting such processes, and end user trainings on the challenges or the changes that are going to happen, and the compatibility check of the third party add-ons that they currently have. And they can even go for archiving and depreciate and clearing some of their custom code so that the data footprint also gets reduced. So these are some of the key aspects one needs to consider while migrating their system to HANA.
Okay.
We have one more question from the finance. What are the reconciliation challenges are addressed in S/4HANA? Question to this answer. I can say single source of truth, like what I said in earlier, like this AC docker table is the answer for this question. Because as all the data, various truths are now stored updated in the AC docker table as a line item. Hence, there is no reconciliation is required between the schedule between FI submodule to the S/4HANA general ledger.
So whatever queries you guys have at later point of time, can also email it to us. Thank you all for attending and giving your valuable time to us. Thank you once again for joining in.